Seoul seemed strangely quiet the morning the announcement broke, too quiet for a city that never really sleeps. It was 9:02 a.m. KST when both Jong Suk and IU simultaneously uploaded their statements. And within seconds, the calm of the capital shattered. Commuters in Gangnam froze mid-step as their phones vibrated with the alert. Screens at Hwangdae Station flashed the words no one ever expected to see. Even the towering LED displays outside Coke's Mall abruptly interrupted there to make up advertisements to broadcast breaking news banners. Jong Suk and IU confirmed breakup after 2 years together. People stood still as if time itself halted. A young couple waiting in line at a cafe stared at each other with mouths half open, their drinks forgotten. A bus driver near Sinsadong pulled over for a moment, checking his phone twice as if convinced the headline must be fake. And at Gyoto, an office worker covered her mouth, eyes filling with tears. It was the kind of news that didn't just ripple through the city, it strangled it, leaving behind a stunned silence punctured only by whispers. 2 years, Jong Suk and IU had been the quiet heartbeat of Korean entertainment, two artists at the peak of their craft. Two souls who seemed to have found something rare in an industry built on illusions. Their relationship, revealed during a trip to Tokyo's Shibuya district, had charmed not only Korea but fans across Asia. They never flaunted their affection, never indulged in publicity. Yet every small moment captured, her hand lightly brushing his gaze softening when she laughed, was enough to convince millions they were witnessing something genuine. That was why the breakup announcement, in a single understated paragraph, hit the nation like a cold blade. "We have decided to remain supportive friends." Statement read. No explanations. No elaboration. No comfort for the fans who had invested their hearts into the couple's quiet romance. It felt too sudden. Too clinical. Too final. The absence of detail became the catalyst for chaos. Within minutes, Hongdae's bustling streets transformed into conversations murmured under breaths. At Myeongdong, fans gathered in small clusters, scrolling furiously. Outside IU's agency in Cheongdam-dong, a few international fans who happened to be on vacation had already laid flowers and handwritten notes against the stone wall, as if mourning something precious that slipped away too easily. At the same time, reporters parked outside Jong Suk's drama set in Busan Film Studio, desperate for any expression on his face, something to tell them this wasn't the end. Social media was a battlefield. This can't be real. Please tell me this is a misunderstanding. 2 years of such beautiful love, why now? TikTok overflowed with edit videos set to heartbreak songs, showing soft clips of them laughing backstage, during award ceremonies, walking side by side at the airport. YouTube live streams of fan reactions surged to hundreds of thousands of views. The breakup wasn't just news, it was a collective heartbreak. But behind the frenzy and speculation, there was something more fragile unfolding, something the public didn't witness. That morning, IU was seen entering the lone building in a white mask and black cap. But the exhaustion in her eyes was unmistakable. Staff members quietly said she barely spoke, offering brief nods in response to greetings. One employee shared that the only sentence she uttered all day was, "I hope people won't misunderstand him." It was a sentence packed with a tenderness that made the heartbreak sting even more. Even in the middle of her pain, she was thinking of protecting him. Across the city, Jong Suk was spotted leaving the Amon Seoul Hotel, a place rumored to be significant to both of them. A space where they once celebrated their 1-year anniversary. He kept his head low, avoiding the cameras. His shoulders curled inward as if bracing against a storm only he could feel. Someone close to him, speaking anonymously, confessed in a low voice. He didn't want this. He respected her decision, but he didn't want it. That single confession spread like wildfire. A breakup into something deeper, more agonizing. The weight of the past few months began to surface. Stars had been swallowed by demanding schedules, IU preparing for her world tour at Seoul Olympic Park, while Jong Suk spent long months filming in Busan. The physical distance between them grew, widened into emotional exhaustion. They missed birthdays, anniversaries, important milestones, until missing each other became a routine neither wanted but both accepted out of obligation to their careers. They had fought silently, not with anger but with longing that had no place to bloom amid their responsibilities. Still, the fans couldn't understand. Something so beautiful unravel without warning. How could two people so evidently in love choose to let go? Seoul Forest Park provided part of the answer. There, beneath bare winter trees and fading twilight, that the couple was last seen together a week before the announcement. Eyewitnesses thought they were simply taking a quiet walk, but later, those same witnesses recalled the heavy air between them. IU kept her gaze lowered while Jong Suk's hands trembled slightly inside his coat pockets. No one knew then that they were ending their relationship in the same park where they had shared their first date. An older woman walking her dog later told a reporter. They looked like two people trying very hard not to break. And perhaps she wasn't wrong. If one listened closely, if one imagined the conversation they must have had, everything about their silence made sense. The breakup wasn't loud. It wasn't cruel. It was the soft kind, the kind that aches long after the words are spoken. The kind that tastes like goodbye buried under love that never stopped. By the end of the day, all of Korea had accepted the news. No one truly understood it. Theories blossomed everywhere, third parties, jealousy, hidden scandals, but insiders insisted none of that was true. Something softer, something more heartbreaking lay beneath the surface. The news cycle turned over and over, picking apart fragments of their 2-year romance. Truth lingered like a shadow across Seoul. Their love story didn't end because it was weak. It ended because something stronger, something unspoken, forced their hands. What fans did not know was that the real reason behind the breakup was not anger, nor betrayal, nor anything scandalous. It was a choice they never wanted to make. As the sun dipped below the horizon that evening, Seoul felt unusually heavy, as if the city itself were mourning the end of something irreplaceable. The breakup had dominated every news broadcast, every cafe conversation, every comment thread. Yet the feeling lingering in the air was not anger or frustration, it was grief. A kind of quiet sorrow that seemed to echo down the streets of Apgujeong and through the narrow alleys of Ikseandong, where fans placed small candles beside handwritten notes that read, "Thank you for the beautiful 2 years." But beneath the public's heartbreak, a deeper truth quietly waited to surface. Despite the rumors swirling like cold wind, third parties, arguments, incompatibility, those close to the couple insisted that none of these speculations held even a grain of truth. Instead, they spoke of a moment that happened just a week before the official announcement. A moment so delicate and painfully sincere that it felt more like a scene from a film than a fragment of real life. It happened again at Seoul Forest Park. The skeletal branches of the same trees where they once shared laughter and whispered promises. It was late, almost 10 p.m., when IU arrived. Bundled in a long coat, her breath fogging in the cold air. Jong Suk was already there, hands buried deep in his pockets, staring out over the empty pathways lit by soft amber lamps. For a few seconds, moved. Neither spoke. They simply looked at each other as if trying to memorize every detail before it slipped away forever. When IU finally approached him, his voice was barely above a whisper. "We keep missing each other," she said. "Even when we're standing in the same place." Jong Suk's eyes softened with a pain that years of acting could never hide. "I know," he answered quietly. "I feel it too." He admitted he feared becoming a burden to her, feared the weight of their relationship would become yet another pressure added to her already overwhelming life. She admitted she felt the same. The world expected so much from both of them: new music, new dramas, flawless public personas, endless strength. And in that impossible balancing act, the love they treasured more than anything began shrinking beneath schedules, obligations, and the unforgiving pace of fame. There was no argument, no harsh words, only an ache so deep it seemed impossible to soothe. They sat together on a wooden bench overlooking the park's small lake, their hands resting close but never quite touching, like two magnets fighting the pull they still felt for one another. Yu's eyes glistened as she spoke. "If we stay together now, we'll keep sacrificing the parts of ourselves we're trying to protect." The words tore her apart even as she said them. Jong Suk swallowed hard, voice breaking as he replied. He wanted to let go. The silence that followed was long and trembled with unspoken prayers. When they finally stood, Jong Suk gently brushed a strand of hair behind IU's ear, a gesture filled with tenderness, one that spoke louder than any confession. "Always be grateful for every day we shared," he murmured. IU nodded, blinking fast to keep tears from falling. "You were my safe place," she whispered. And that would haunt the hearts of fans had they known in that moment. Then slowly, with painful dignity, walking in opposite directions through the dimly lit park. Neither looked back. Not because they didn't want to. Because turning around would have broken whatever strength they still had left. That was the true ending of their 2-year love story. The official announcement went out days later. Both kept their statements short. They didn't dare write paragraphs, they feared their emotions would spill onto the page. IU wrote, "Thank you for supporting us. I wish him happiness always." Lee Jong Suk wrote, "She remains someone I deeply care for. Please give her the warmth she deserves." Yet, even as they tried to stay composed, the cracks showed. Industry insiders shared that Jong Suk had trouble sleeping for days afterward, burying himself in late-night script rehearsals but reading the same lines over and over without absorbing a word. Meanwhile, she struggled during her recording sessions, her voice breaking unintentionally at certain lyrics. Producer discreetly paused the session twice. Pretending there were technical issues to give her time to breathe. At their pain, both remained fiercely protective of each other. When unfounded rumors gained momentum, agencies released quick, synchronized statements clarifying that there was no scandal, no betrayal, no wrongdoing. Just two people who loved each other enough to let go before love turned into resentment. As the media storm continued, gradually understood what many celebrities never dared to say, that sometimes love ends not because it dies, but because life becomes too complicated for it to continue unbroken. The public began to sympathize, with shock giving way to respect. Messages of support flooded both their social media pages, reminding them that they were not alone. By the time night fell in Seoul, chaos had quieted slightly, though the sadness lingered in the air. A small group of fans gathered at the edge of Seoul Forest Park, lighting candles shaped like tiny hearts. The girl whispered what everyone seemed to feel: their love didn't fail. It just wasn't allowed to survive. Perhaps she was right. Because the truth behind the breakup was not a scandal, not a betrayal, not a collapse. It was a choice, one made in tears and tenderness, between two people who still cared too deeply to let their love turn into something harmful. Their romance ended not because it grew cold, because it was too warm, too precious, too fragile to be crushed by the weight of their lives. Truth, quiet and devastating, was what left fans stunned the most.